Hi, everybody. This is Lily, and this is my journal. Today is October 12th, 2019. So, Zeus, say hi. Zeus, say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody. Thank you for joining, Lily. Thank you. All right. So, Zeus is going to go sleep. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. So it's Saturday. I'm going to be talking today about shamanic initiation. What had happened in the last few talks that I've been doing in my journals about shamanism, and how to figure out if you are or you aren't. And so I got a lot of questions about shamanic initiation and what it means and how to know what kind of work you do and all of that, which is great because all of those questions, I love it because what it tells me that what I am developing for this shamanic boot camp is actually that I'm doing the right thing. Hi, Natasha. Thank you for being here, Natasha. Thank you, dear friend. Thank you. So, and thank you, everybody who joined me here. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to talk about shamanic initiation because this is actually what it is. For you, for each and every one of you on the individual level, what I talked of here, I bring it on a very personal level. So then you can do this on a personal level to develop your own relationship as a shaman with your own self. So you have to become your own shaman first. And then if you are at that stage and you're there, sitting there knowing what it is that your shamanic gift is, then the next stage is what I was talking about, is the stage of clarity that comes through, is to where you can then see as a shaman, where does your gift, the gift of clarity, that's what you're going to get if you initiate yourself through what I'm going to talk about today, is how to find that out. Is what you can do. There's two things you can do, and you can do them at the same time, is to do your lucid dreaming, a meditation, or you can also do this in the dream world as you go to sleep. Okay, and you create your own ritual before, and then in your dream world you'll get your answers. Okay, and so what you do is actually you got to do a physical ritual, and then you got to get a confirmation somehow through the spiritual, and then of course the nature comes as foundation. And I didn't put their nature, but every one of you shamans here, because you have to be a shaman for yourself first. Okay, and so when you get to the point to where you know exactly how you, on an individual level, on that individual creator being, how do you apply your gift, okay, to a collective. And like I said in my previous journal, even if it's two people in your family, it's still how you apply yourself and each and every one of the relationships that you have individually. That's what you operate on. That's your structure. That's your blueprint for how you contribute to a collective human consciousness. So there is no separation. Am I doing this just for myself? Or am I doing this, as there's so much in New Age of this being programming of this, for others and for self, you know how you're supposed to do things for others, but it was all inverted. So it was basically meaning it was a parasitic structure. But right now it's a contribution. So look at your own self, just like I've been talking about, that your self-healing affects the whole of collective. And so each and every one of us, if do I feel like I'm shaman or not? Well, I got to be a shaman for myself, because there is no other external source at this time that can do that. Or unless you're in a community and you know exactly who the other people or shamans are, and you go to them to help you out. And if those shamans are real, because there is a lot of shamans that have to contribute, and this is what typically is what shamanic work is that you contribute to the collective, to your community in some way, no matter how big or how small your community is. And so the way shamans are, they anchor the spiritual world in physical, and then that community can have that someone that can bring or break that veil of separation between the spirit and the manifested world. Hi Islam, thank you for being here. Well, I am in United States right now, but originally I'm from Ukraine. Okay, anyway, but it was a long time ago. Although I still speak a little bit of Ukrainian. Okay, so back to shamanic initiation. So, aloha, Teresa. Hi, Agus. Thank you for being here. It's very harsh. Yes, the shamanic initiation is harsh, because this is where I've talked of in the past. Maybe that's where the wisdom of northern mythologies and like the wisdom of Odin is really beneficial right now for us. And so those metaphors are very beneficial for us, because it's all about self-empowerment. So when we look at those metaphors, then what happens is we draw that power from within. And this is what shamans are. Shamans have to be really strong in spirit. And so for those that desire to be shamans, what that means is you gotta really build up your spirit, and you gotta build up that anchor in your physical body of that spiritual world. That means you cannot have fear. And this is what the whole healing process that I've talked about is, to eliminate any sort of fear that we have through our belief structures that we have so much of, that we need to get released and get rid of, to create that fearless state of being, to where you can then initiate yourself into that shamanic work. And how you initiate it, it's always authentic, because each and every shaman has their own path to go through, and each and every one has a different community that they serve. And if you are a shaman and only two people are in your immediate family, that's your tribe, that's who you serve. As someone who has the capacity to comprehend and have the awareness of the higher consciousness present within, or having had, like I said, that activated their own Holy Trinity, or anchor, as I said, anchor through your glands, through your 3 glands in the head, you anchor that energy in, and that's invisible, anchoring invisible. And this is your portal. Your Holy Trinity is your portal is your portal. This is how when you open the portal to go through this initiation without activating your own Holy Trinity, you will not be able to open the portal. So you're not going to be able to, what I said, go through the initiation through the dream. In spiritual world, you have to be initiated in the spiritual world. And so this is what I'm saying, that shaman's job is to build up themselves to the point to where they open that portal, the Holy Trinity, and that then they can have a full direct open portal into that other world. And so there, then the connection. And because you have to be fearless, you can't be in the fear of that, because as soon as you have fear, you're going to be catapulted into astral world, which is a fake holographic dead light existence. Because that's what it does. It triggers you through fear. And this is what I've been talking a lot about in the last few years, is that if we don't become that fearless universal seed, we are not going to be able to withstand this spiritual war that we're in, because it is a war. Ed, that's funny. You said you told your neighbor you wanted to understand shamanism, and she said, me too, must be the right time for this. Exactly. And this is why, Ed, I'm doing this, because this is, in a way, part of my shamanic contribution as myself, is to trigger this inner knowing in other people. I'm not saying that I'm here to give any kind of frequency and trigger anything in other people, except that trigger their own knowing within. Because what happening is we have a disconnect, and it's been done through this technology that I've talked in the past. And now that technology is no longer affecting us, except that we have already been, our bodies have been integrated into it. And so now what we need to do as shamans is to bring this gap between the spiritual world and what's true, what's not true, and find, and each individual has to anchor in that spiritual and in their physical world, because they have to do it. Each and every one of us have to do it through their own being. And this is what I talked about, that a lot of this deception works, and the way it works is because all of this discarnate spirit and all of this beings and all of these things and all the underworld and all these things, there's 3 worlds that shaman operate in. Okay. 3 worlds, always 3. And that's why we anchor always when your rituals are done, you always anchor it in all 3 worlds. When you're when just exactly as witches have to do it when they do spells, and when you undo the spells, you gotta anchor it in all 3 worlds. And this is what happens when people don't understand how the Holy Trinity operates, and then they give one entity, or they put someone in between, and then they become one point of that Holy Trinity, and they become just the battery of something else that operates their spiritual world, and they get caught up in that dead world of that light that is living. That's the death cult world. Purgatory, I called it before. Yes, Teresa, it becomes sort of an automatic, but what I want to talk about, you guys, if you want to, because a lot of you guys want to know, okay, I want to get that clarity on what it is. And this is what I say, you know, you can't be afraid. And you have to be looking, like I talked in the last time in my last journal, you have to be able to look at the ugly part or whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is that's coming up. And to gain clarity on that, what it is, this is what I you know, from my own personal experience, you guys, it have to be so unique to you because you have to know law of nature to command nature. If you're not in alignment with nature, and this is the very foundation of each shaman works the law of nature. And this is why each and every ritual that I do, I have to do a physical ritual consciously, conscious mind, boom. Then I gotta have my dream world confirmation, meaning my ritual has to take place in the spiritual world. And if it does, then after that, I come back full circle, and then nature has to anchor it for me in the physical. It's not me anymore with my mind. What I do with my mind is the step one. It's the ritual. Initiating myself into that, whatever it is. What you do is you initiate yourself and you create the ritual with your intent and all of that. But for you to be able to do that, so then it manifests in the spiritual world, you have to do it with nature, through nature. And that's why each and every shaman has their nature things that they've done through nature that means so much, that embedded with so much energy, that a lot of people then create this power things that they project their energy to. But shamans, true shaman knows because their own true energy. And like I was talking to you guys in the past, this is just a jewelry little thing that's right here. I don't want to open it because I don't want to show you guys too much what's inside. But anyway, so there's something inside there that's only I know what's there because it's my thing, right? So to me, what I do is this is for the conscious mind. So when you do something in the physical, you do it, whatever this. And so when you know, because look at all this inverted stuff that witches do. You know, they have to do circles and it has to be this and that. But they're too dumb to understand that you create that ritual yourself, what it means to you, because it's the belief system for your conscious mind. So you create that. And then because you are basing this on law of nature, you're not basing this on any external powers. As soon as you base that on external powers, you're operating on their energy. You're just a battery. You're being operated, basically. That's what it is. And this is what I talk of when I talk of invasion in our spiritual communities, and how invaded it is with this demonic, satanic structure, actually, because like I told you guys, the cat's been out of the bag. The only power they have is through blood sacrifice. And so when that is over and done, there is no more power that they have. So we have to reclaim our power right now. And like I said, because right now that is over in the spiritual world, we now have to end it here because these people, they don't understand law of nature. And this is why I hope that every one of you here are a really true shaman, that you don't just took that word shaman and slap some belief system on it and then operating on it. Because if you guys haven't noticed, by the things that are happening right now, a lot of that is coming to the surface and a lot of it is manifested, and it's because there is so many shamans around the world that do so much incredible work in spiritual world right now. It's amazing, you guys. It's amazing. And I had another one of those, and like I was talking to you guys, how the nature does it to me, okay? So I go and I do my thing, then I get a dream, or I go in the dream. I could get a split second of something, or I could just wake up with a feeling. And that's, I know that. And then, and even like today, I went in and I knew that that I was looking for nature to confirm something. And I walk in, and I just walk on the path, walking my dog first thing in the morning. I'm walking. And I have actually here in the back, baby owls that I've been around them for a while, since they've been babies. So we've been over there. And so my baby owl's all grown up now. His name is Poopster. He meets me in a place where it's not where we usually meet. So that's confirmation for me. Showing up unexpectedly right at the moment when I am in that connection, receiving that, or decoding, or how to say that, because what happens in the morning, a lot of times on my walks, I understand what happened at night. And so then when something like this happens, and so when I'm going exactly through that process, and then boom, nature throws something at me, then I know I got my confirmation. It is done. And so that when things like that happen, that's nature just, and when that happens, and when you build that on law of nature, or you will get your confirmation. You'll never have doubt. Never have doubt. When you base your shamanic practices on laws of nature, which are your laws, as your moral laws as a creator being. That's the gift of nature to us. Okay? Juliet, yes, a lot of people. I've been through to a lot of shamans, because what happens is I went to a lot, and I've learned so much from other shamans, because it is part of our path sometimes. And a lot of times, like, this is how it's like, even in my family, right? A family history and oral history and all of that stuff, my dad told me all the stories, not the rest of 11 children. So it's like, you have people that hold different things or do different things, and have different gifts. And because this is what it is with shamanism, it's very respectful towards individuality. And what we have with our spiritual teachings to become that, it's all inverted. So they have to take you as far away from spirituality, so then you become part of this group that is greater than you on your own. But see, a shaman is a whole different thing, because shaman holds in the past, and like in tribal shamanism, in all tribal shamanism, usually it's the whole tribe that a shaman or two, or just a couple that hold the whole community in that connection, in that level, in the spiritual world. They anchor that world in, and it doesn't take much. And what we've seen a lot, and this is what I've talked a lot about, that part of the deception of spirituality is this collectivism. Because then if you can do that on the spiritual world, then you can manifest it in the physical world. Why do you think so much of that oppression and starting what happened in Soviet Union, which I know that whole history, that 100 years of history of what happened with Soviet Union, right? What happened is to implement communism, they had to first take over the spirit. And they took over the spirit of Russia. And they turned it into blood sacrifice. And that's what they did. This is, and look at how much, there's going to be a whole different, I don't know what I'm going to have to do, but the religious oppression that came with that, nobody talks about that. Everybody's talking, oh, gulag. Yeah, that's programming and all of that stuff. But first, the spiritual abuse. The spiritual abuse has to occur. And so that's what they did first. Nobody's really talking about how horrific that whole thing was. So this is what, I mean, it's not like they've done it just in Russia. It's been done everywhere. It's been done everywhere. It's been done for ages. It's been done for thousands of years. So that's how it operates. So for us, and the reason is, the other thing is, what I want to talk about is that you create your own ritual, and this is how you initiate yourself into your shamanic work. If you hear listening to me, there is something you got to do for others, even if it's your own children, even if it's your own friend, even if it's your own mom or your own dad or whatever. It is what it is. When you accept who you are, you'll never look at yourself in that compatible, I'm competing with anybody. All of that is a leftover of this spiritual collectivism that they've been enslaved humanity. Here comes your Catholic Church. Here comes all of that stuff. Here comes all of your Abrahamic religions. Here's your come. They've eliminated individuality. They've eliminated self-strength and self-attainment. They've eliminated all of that. Why do you think they got rid of all the books that are magic books? They call them magic books. They weren't magic books. They're self-attainment books. How to attain spirituality on your own, how to attain your spirit, how to go through this process here on your own. But they took all of that because they wanted to take the foundation, and then they flipped that inside out and gave it to the people that it's all built on running blood. And so the blood's been running for 2,000 years. And that's your religion. That's what religion is based on. And then they tell you that shamans are from devil, right? Because shamans see that, what it is, because that's exactly the opposite of shamanism. Shamanic journey is all about how it is that my own path, my individual strength, my individual clarity, my individual awareness, how can it serve human consciousness? How can it serve human spirit evolution? How can it serve humanity? How can it serve Earth? How can it serve nature? It's all connected. And so what we have to look at is that it literally is what many people are here feel like they're in here, incarnated in this reality, but they're lost and they don't know what are you supposed to do? What is it that I'm supposed to do? And if you really find it within, Because there's been so much programming that you're supposed to do what you're told by other people. There is someone better than you, that you're sinful and all of that stuff. So when you invert that, you are the one, the source of that blood. You are the source, at the source of that. What they built as their fake foundations, all religions, you go beyond that. And that is right within you. And when you truly, truly, consciously accept that, it's scary for your conscious mind. I'll tell you it's scary to accept that, because immediately you will be hit like with tons of bricks, because you will, as soon as you accept yourself as that source, spirit, initiated shaman, you will get hit with responsibility, because that's the clarity. That's the clarity. Once you accept yourself, no matter what, if I'm here and let's say, okay, here's the only thing, the only way I contribute to this reality, to collective reality in this reality, because we're sharing it with animals, is I'm taking care of this little puppy over here for 13 years now. Okay? And even if that's what it is, if I accept that fully as my higher purpose, this is when you will never feel lost in this reality again. You will have so much fun exploring your own self, what it is that you truly want, what it is that you truly came here to experience. Because at the foundation of it all, the contribution that shamans make to a collective consciousness is that we can find the root of joy in a collective field. And joy is the marker of creator. And so you guys think about it, because every shaman that you go to, ultimately, what is it that are trying to get you? They're trying to get you to get your own strength and to find your own joy and find your own happiness and find solutions for yourself, for your own problems. But they'll help you with the spiritual layer, right? And this is when you go to the other shaman. But to self-initiate that is, you gotta find the answers within. And you gotta find your way to find that language or that you speak with nature or whatever it is. But you have to base all of your being on the laws of nature. And then this is your protection. As a shaman, your protection is your own self, is that responsibility or that which you feel that you're contributing, that is for the betterment or for the awareness of human consciousness, for the evolution, for progression, or I can't find proper words for what it is that once we do that and we anchor that and the responsibility for something, and once it sets in, then, you'll start exploring this a lot more. And this is what, why I've been talking about this, because I've been doing a lot of this through this, and honestly, it's just been last few weeks, it's been so intense and everything manifesting so much faster now, guys. It becomes comical. Yes, Teresa. Oh my God. Yes. Yes, and so what happens is, and even like, and I say, you guys, and I've seen that lately. It's not like, I do my journals. It doesn't do a lot of things, but it creates a lot of things around there that rattle some cages and things like that. And I'm like, I'm having fun with it. To me, it's a lot of fun to see something manifest so beautifully and so quickly. And it's like, boom, boom, nature's just like, whoo, there you go, boom, and it's there. It's like, and so I've been playing with my rituals and things like that, and I'm getting like confirmations so quick lately, and I'm not sure what has happened besides what I already talked about, but something definitely had changed on more. So there is an even, so this is what I'm trying to say, that even when you guys, you're doing this and you're only empowering yourself and you think, oh, I have this realization, and all of a sudden I feel like, I'm rebalancing my nature with the nature here, the laws of nature here. And so this is your basically what happens is, if you look at it from a quantum field, like I said, what happens is your quantum field is restructuring to more natural state in balance with Earth field. And so this is what all correction timeline is all about, is restructuring ourselves. And then by restructuring ourselves, you understand that you're always, because you're in this reality, you affect your observer. And so you affect this reality. So you're not separate from collective human consciousness. So you're it. When you get that and you go, oh my, I'm part of it all. And then you go, scary, right? And they go, oh, I'm part of it all. I can access this, and I have access to this. Ooh, and I have access to this, and I have access to this. Ooh, let me see. I have access to everything. And then you get excited and you go explore in the spiritual world. And this is, in a way, what I wanted to invite you guys, those of you that already, and thank you so much for letting me know that so many of you would like to join that boot camp, Shaman's boot camp that I'm developing. So that's great. We're going to have a lot of fun. And what I ultimately wanted to do is, it's because right now there's so much of this turnaround that happens. Why not play with it? Why not test a few things? So I kind of inviting you guys to kind of go through this and see if there's anything we can come up with together that would be a lot more impactful, let's say, than just, one of us does, this, and maybe we can, have a better impact together. So that's ultimately kind of, I wanted to let you guys in on what I want to do, because there is so much potential right now for correcting certain things in our reality, and we have so much of this energies that are supporting us right now in clearing out our reality. And we, I mean, it's just, it's almost like everything in my life right now is pointing out we're in a tremendously important time. We're going through something so extremely important right now, but I honestly have not been able to come up with words that would describe what it is. But we are definitely going through something so incredibly, I don't know, it's so tender, it's so incredible, and it's so powerful at the same time, but it's so gentle. I don't know, but this energy that we have, that nature is producing through her own quantum field right now. It's there, you guys. It's in the air. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones. Yeah, Teresa, I can feel it in my bones. It's so powerful. It's like exploding from within. Exploding. Exploding. So it's incredibly beautiful. And so I'm extremely excited about how everything is working out. To be honest with you, I expected this clearing process to be a lot more messy than it is. And even the purge in the media is going quite well. Everybody's doing their job. They're all just revealing themselves on their own. Everybody's showing who they are, and we're all ready for them to do so. And so it's all beautiful. We're gonna leave beautiful behind us, you guys. And this is what we're gonna come back is more to all this tribal sort of understandings, because as I was saying, we will eventually come back to this original timeline, which was, as you guys know from the history, the tribal structure that was here on the planet. It worked well until the invasion. And once the invasion happened, and this is Native Americans have that too, not just Gnostics. Native Americans have that history too. It's just you got to know how to dig it. They covered it up too. Do you think that they didn't infiltrated Native tribes? Oh yes, they did. Hi, Tracy. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I've been here for 40 minutes. That's okay. I'm still going. So, any questions, you guys, on how to do initiation rituals? It's got to come from your thing. You got to make sure that you're conscious, your subconscious, and your super conscious. So whatever it needs to take. Sometimes it takes a few days for me to create rituals. I actually let my own super conscious to create rituals for me, because when I do get that insight, okay, you need to do this and this or that. I use a lot of water, you guys. Water is very powerful. Water is the most powerful element. And so I do use water all the time. If you call, because this is what I'm talking about. Once you create your relationship with nature and you obey nature's law, then you can ask water, all of the water, because all water communicates. This is the element, because this is the most powerful, and it's also because it's so many stages of water, right? It goes through densities, right? Densities of water. I guess that's what it is. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, Teresa, that's beautiful. I used to do that in Mexico, in Playa del Carmen. Love it. Laying in the ocean. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, water. So water, why is it powerful? First of all, this. And so when you get a little bit of water, okay, and you do your ritual with that water, right? Then what you can do is just some suggestions for you guys. So what you can do is, like, here, I'm drinking wine, by the way. It's Saturday. It's my juice. I'm drinking juice, a very old juice, grape juice. Yeah, Three Stevens. Yeah, I love Playa. Oh, beautiful, beautiful place. Anyway, so what you can do is you take a little bit of water and you do your thing. You can use it for your body and stuff like that, and things like that. And then what I do is, then you can take that water, and then you can take all of that, and then you can call upon all of the water, which is a 70% of this reality, if not more. So you call upon, and then you back up your intent that is in the little cup. It doesn't matter. Again, this goes back to letting go of the inverted beliefs that we are, that the little is, that the less, more powerful it is. It's all about the strength of your intent, the purity of your intent, and how active is your and how connected you are through your universal portal. If you can, if you fully connected, then that little bit of water, that one drop, okay, one drop. And if you put intent powerful enough, and you put that drop into the river, that water will communicate your intent to all the water that is in this reality. So think how much power you have with just one drop of water. And now think of you shamans, how much of your tears dropped into universal waters will carry. What will they carry? How they will carry that information. So that's another way of doing it. That's a little bit more deeper. You can do that for your ancestral line. And so this is all laws of nature. Laws of nature apply. And then if you do that properly, all of that water, 70% of this reality, imagine the power, will be standing behind that one tear. Who can be against you? Who can be against you when all of that is standing with you? This is why it is so important to do your own self-initiation. Because the power, you're going to experience it. Nobody else will. But what I just explained, because we have so much of this programming to where it's inverted, and how belittled we are through all this programming, that when we do wake up and we truly accept our shamanic self, we become lions, unstoppable, unstoppable. It's just not even funny. When we truly align ourselves with nature and her laws, we're going to be unstoppable, you guys. So thank you, you guys, so much for being here, and for feeling this and knowing this, and for initiating yourself into this, and for experiencing this. Because I also know that this is just the very, very beginning. This is just the very beginning, and we definitely gonna go through a process of this, as natives said, leave it beautiful behind you. We will rearrange, restructure this reality. We're not gonna hide from it. Shamans don't hide from negativity. They don't hide from evil. Shamans don't hide from evil. Cowards hide from evil. That's who hides from evil. Shamans don't. So you guys, I thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, because I am almost done here. It's almost an hour. So I just wanted to talk about the importance of that, and then make sure that in your dream world, you also get that, and you will know if you did or not. And then make sure that nature is in alignment with you. And so keep working at it, and find what works. And if you have any questions, let me know, and you can put them in the comments. So hopefully I'll come back to comments and reply to some of them. I've been kind of busy last couple of days, you guys, but there's a lot of changes going on. And so I'm observing a lot of changes in spiritual world, and so I will take one of these days. Maybe I'll make a separate video and just record it and then post it. There is a lot of updates that I want to actually talk about what's happening in the spiritual world, because I feel that a lot of that has to do with a lot of you guys that come here and watch, that it has something to do with you. So for me, it's not because I want to share it because it's so special. It's because I think some of you need to hear what is happening in the spiritual world right now. There's incredible things happening. So you guys, um, thank you so much. And yeah, I do want to talk about that because I think it will be very valuable for us to know and kind of to start bringing that into our conscious awareness so we can see how we can manifest these changes in our personal lives first. So I thank you so much, everyone. Tim, thank you. Juliet, Summer Breeze, Richard, Christina, Three Stevens, P900, thank you. Thank you, Teresa, Tracy, thank you. Thank you, Ladies Indigo. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And so I will see you next week in a few days. And until then, stay wild, everybody. Zeus, you want to say bye? Say bye to everybody. He is not interested. And here's my sister saying bye to everybody. Bye, everybody, you guys. And